Hi everybody, Mark here with Rio Grande. One of the reasons I really love making jewelry is that there's something to learn every day, be it a little tiny trick or a whole new process. And one of the things we do here at Rio Grande is we're always looking for new ways of doing things. So we watch a lot of YouTube, and we came across a video by a guy named Andrew Barry. He said, "We've been making our rings wrong the whole time." That's crazy because I've been doing this for 20 years. I never had a problem. So I had to watch the video, and sure enough, he's got a technique that I think I just might want to try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a ring the way I make a ring. Been doing it for 20 years, and then I'm going to make a ring the way he showed me in the video. We'll put a little timer up on the screen, and we'll kind of see which process goes faster and which one might be easier. So to start with, I have a ring blank here, and I've already filed one in flush. So all I need to do is mark off the other end where I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to get started. And I'm going to shoot for a size 8. So I got my measurement, and I'm just going to mark that off there. And then I'll come over here. And then I'll give it a quick little file. Now this material is 5 millimeters by 1 millimeter. So it'll be pretty easy to form, and I'll go ahead and just use some half-round pliers and do that. I just need to bring these ends together. And that looks pretty good. I'm worried that there's a little bit of a gap in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my saw and cut right through that seam. And the saw blade should file both sides pretty evenly. I'm not the world's best filing person, so I have to do this sometimes. Okay, so I think that'll work. And as you can see, it's pretty misshapen. This happens to me all the time. It's the way I've been doing it for 20 years. So we're going to go ahead and solder it. And before I do that, I'm going to dip it in the boric acid and denatured alcohol. There. And use some Mighty Flux. And I'll use a little bit of medium solder. Just like that. So what I'm using to solder with is a little torch with a number 7 tip. It's one of my favorite torches. And we'll go ahead and dip it in the water and then put it in the pickle. We'll put it in the pickle for about 2 minutes. That time is a little bit arbitrary. 2 minutes will be enough time to clean off the flux so I can move on. And then also I'll do 2 minutes when I do Andrew's version, so that time in the pickle will be the same. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the pickle. Rinse in water. And I definitely want to dry it off so I don't get any water on my tools. And we'll go ahead and round it out. Now as you can see, remember, it was kind of misshapen, and now I have to round that out, so I'll stick it on the ring mandrel. Okay, so we'll stop the clock right there. If you look on the ring mandrel, the ring did get to about a size 8, which is pretty nice. And so that's the way I make a ring. So let's try Andrew's way. A little bit different, and I've never done this before, so it'll be a first time for both of us probably. And what we'll do is we'll start with a ring blank, but how he marks it off is a little bit different. So instead of measuring from one end to the other, what he does is he says start in about 5 millimeters from one end, there, and measure what you need to. to the other end. Now what you do need to do though, this is a little different, is mark the edge. That. And then what we'll do is we'll form that into a ring and line up those marks. I'm going to use the same pliers. Start on the ends. And if you can see my marks, they overlap each other. And I'll cut right there. And just go ahead and bring those ends together. Okay, so those ends are together, and this ring is in a little bit more of a round shape, which I kind of like. It's going to make it easier forming later. So I'll go ahead and solder this now. This process will be exactly the same. A little boric acid, Mighty Flux, see. That. There's that. So go in the water, and there again we'll do 2 minutes in the pickle, and go ahead and dry it off and form it off. So come back in 2 minutes. Okay, so it's been 2 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and get the ring, and then we'll rinse and definitely dry it off. And it's a little bit more round, so this step should go a little faster. Okay, so we're going to stop the clock and take a look at our size here. And you want that sizing to be right over that mark, right in the middle of the shank. And it's pretty close. So I think I did pretty good on my measurements. And if I check the other side, it looks to be just a little bit short. So I can definitely make that an 8. I call it kind of a success. I need a little more practice on that. So after doing them both, I'm kind of digging Andrew's way. For me, it's a little bit easier, especially on this wider material, to overlap them and cut them, because that's one cut. Whereas on mine, I had to cut it twice. I had to cut it to length, bring the ends together, and then run that saw blade through that seam to true it up. And just not a big deal, but doing it Andrew's way seemed like it went faster. We'll have to check the clock to make sure on that. And I think I need a little more practice with Andrew's way. But I'm definitely going to incorporate it in my toolbox of techniques. It may not be the perfect trick for everything I make, but it's definitely worth considering in some cases. We added a link in the description to Andrew's video. Highly encourage you to watch it. And he's got some really other great stuff on his channel. So give it a click, give it a watch, and let us know what you think. Leave a comment in our box, and we'll share that with Andrew as well. Thanks for watching, guys.